Management Accounting C370 Unit 3 Summary. In considering the operating decisions, according to Collier 2015, operations is the function that produces the goods or services to satisfy the demand from our customers. As per Slack et al. 2014, there are 5 aspects of the operations function. That is, the quality, the speed, dependability, flexibility, and the cost. And where accounting concerns is the cost. So according to Collier 2015, the costing methods vary with the production techniques. We will be looking at this in the next slide. So this diagram shows how the costing methods vary with the production techniques. As you could see, the production techniques are mainly of 3 types, that is custom, batch, and continuous. When it comes to custom production, unique products or customized products are produced. For example, buildings. So in this case, the costing method that is to be used is job costing. When it comes to the batch production technique, we have the production run in similar items, for example, production of textbooks, bottles, or whatever with similar products. So once again, in this case also job costing, or we can also make use of something called batch costing. And finally, when it comes to continuous production, this is where continuous production process happens, for example, oil and chemicals. So in this case, we need to use a costing method known as process costing. In order to produce the management accounting information needed to support production decisions, the bill of materials, which is the list of all the components needed to produce a finished good, and the routine, which is the list of all activities needed to produce a finished good immediately before the finished good is ready to be shipped, are needed. And making operation decisions with respect to products and services should be done by understanding that products and services differ from each other. Considering Fisher et al. 1991, when it comes to differences between products and services, products are physical, services are intangible. Products can be homogeneous to a greater extent, but services are not. Whereas products, they are not simultaneous in most of the cases, but services are simultaneous in most of the cases. Whereas products are not perishable, but services are perishable. Fisher et al. 1991 identifies that there are different types of services. When it comes to services, there are professional services like front office, there's the people-based involving discretion, then customization of services, whereas and also there are management consultants, solicitors, auditors, etc. Whereas there's also mass services. For example, you have limited contact time by staff, little customization, equipment-based services, back-office-oriented products, little autonomy involving services, for example, rail transport, airport, mass retailing. Whereas there are also services like shop services, that is a mixture of professional and mass, for example, banking and hotels. Accounting is concerned with cost control. According to Fisher et al. 1991, many service companies did not try to cost individual services accurately. Professional service firms tried to cost individual services. In mass and service shops, costs were controlled by collecting costs of each service through responsibility centers. Whereas in the service sector, no materials are involved and the inventory includes finished goods and work in progress. That is, for example, in professional firms, we have the time charged to customers but not yet invoiced. And consumables, for example, for a hotel, the stock of bed linen. And according to Collier 2015, operating decisions will be based on relevant costs. So relevant costs are the costs that are relevant to a particular decision. They are the future incremental cash flows that result from a decision, and they include the avoidable cost and the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost will be considered in detail later. Considering about Atkinson et al. 2012, relevant costs are the costs that change as a result of some decisions. So there are 4 main decisions to which the relevant cost theory is applied. First of all, the make or buy decision, that is the outsourcing decisions. In this case, the main relevant costs included are the internal costs that are avoided, for example, all the variable costs, and any avoidable fixed costs. And the external costs that are incurred, for example, the cost of purchasing the part, the transportation cost, or any other cost involved in dealing with the outside suppliers. And the second decision to which relevant cost theory is applied is equipment replacement decisions and material costing decisions, short-term product mix decisions. When it comes to short-term product mix decisions, TOC, or the theory of constraints, is very important, and this will be considered later. And thereby the cost to be ignored when making decisions according to the relevant costing theory mainly include the sunk cost, which will also be considered in detail later. And considering about the relevant cost, environmental cost also becomes very important, and this is where management control of environmental costing becomes important, and we will look at it later.